This
No,
JRE,
I'm unable to see the screen.
you are not able to see the screen?
No.
Wait, just let me see.
It says like waiting to view Diwakar Java screen.
Still there is some problem?
Yeah, now I got it, but nothing is on the screen. It just says like connected to GoToMeeting. Do I
Yeah,
need to start get
that
started?
is my screen only. That is my screen only.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, now I think you can see, right? Here, see? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the notepad, yeah.
Yeah, so there is a two component. One is JRE and one is JDK. If you might have noticed, whenever you launch any application or you visit some website or somewhere, it might ask you that okay, you need to install JRE to run this application, and that JRE is nothing but it's a Java libraries. It's a Java interpreter which which runs your Java code, Java applications. It helps you in launching the applications. So even non-technical person, right, I mean normal people using websites, using applications, they might have installed this JRE knowingly, unknowingly. Okay, so JRE is a very common, I would say, the Java package which used for running the Java application. But when it comes to the developer, right, you need to have one library which is called the JDK, and that JDK is Java Development Toolkit, and it is used for developing your Java application, compiling it, and running it. So Java is a three-stage process. So you write a code which is called the source code, then you compile it. So compilation, I would say it is called Java, or rather bytecode, and this is done by Java compiler. And once you compile it, right, it produces the bytecode, and then it gets run by Java and Java interpreter. So this is finally the execution happens, and these two this library, right, this done by the compiler, this library is provided by JDK. So I would say this is JDK, and this belongs to JRE. So this is a kind of, I would say, subset of it. So if you install JDK, by default Java JRE will come along with that. So for being for developing Java application, you must have JDK installed in your system. If it is JRE, please uninstall it and then go to this website. Oracle JDK download, and click on this version 8, and here if you see there will be JDK, as I can see, right, because I had given a JDK only. Whatever your operating system, if you are using Apple Macintosh, you can use this one. If you are using Linux, any versions, if you're using Windows, right?
No, I'm using Mac.
You are using Mac, so you need to install this one. Okay, so you make sure you install this one. And if you're using Windows, Rahul, then you can, if it is a 64-bit, please make sure you download this one, the last one. So you download this one and install it. And for Macintosh, download if it is 64. I think it's available in 64 only. I've never used Mac OS, so you can install this one. So once you install it, right, you will see that you will have a directory as a this one. One second. So you will have if you say go to program folders, program files, there you will see Java, and this would come something like JDK 1.8.043 or 45, whatever the version you are installing. You should have this one installed in your system. Make sure it's not JRE, it should be JDK to compile the code. So you must have this installed in your system. Okay, if both are there, there is no problem, but JDK has to be there. And if I go inside this, and if I see inside the bin, in bin you will see there is one Java and one Java C. So this is our compiler. Java C is the compiler and Java is interpreter. So this interprets the code. That is the ultimately, right, whatever the bytecode we supply it here. So this one is done by java.exe, but the Java C, right, this is used for the compiling the code. So I'll show you one quick code. I know how to write an application, how to compile it, how to run it. Do not worry about the syntax, what I am following the syntax, but just to show you how to do that. So first thing what you need to do is you need to set up the class path. I'll share you a link how to set up the class path. I won't waste time in doing that. Setup class path is it's providing the Java library where your Java library is present, so that you can use it through your command. So if you right now, if you write it Java, right, it will give something like that. Or if you write Java version, it will give you that Java version is this one. If you haven't set the class path, this will say, if you write it something like this, it will say Java is not recognized by external and internal commands. So you need to set up the class path. I'll just share you one link. You can follow that, and you can do this. Is 3-4 steps is there, and you can do that. If you haven't done, if you don't want to done, also do, because later on we will be using some tool to develop the code, which is called the Eclipse tool. I'll just tell you in a while, so you didn't need not to do all this stuff. So right now I'll simply show you exactly how to compile code, how to run a Java code, and then we'll proceed with installing the Eclipse tool, and then about syntax and what exactly Java's features and all. Okay, is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing what you need to do is right, I'll go to the C directory. So right now I'm in C directory, as you can see. So I'll go to C, and here I will write one. I'll go to my directory here, Divakar, and I'll create one txt, and the name of this will be hello Java, and the extension I'll change it to Java. Okay, so if I open this one, so hello Java file is there. So extension has to be .java. So all the Java file has to be the extension with .java, that is mandatory. And then I'll write class. I'll tell you about all these syntax, and I'll just bear with me I'm just telling you what is the bytecode and what are the thing happens inside. So class Java, and then I'll write public. Okay, so this is a simple program which will print simply hello Java. That's all, nothing else. So now I have written this class, and written this method. So once I compile it, right, I should be able to print this one, right? So let me go ahead and check it. So I'll see hello Java, and this is my Java file. So I will be using Java compiler. So Java compiler is Java C, as I told you, Java C dot hello Java dot Java. So once I do this, right, what is the problem? Okay, cd, I have to go there. Here it is. Okay. So if I do this, okay, there's some problem in syntax. Okay, so if you see Java C hello Java.java, if I do nothing appears, that means the compilation is successful. And if you see compilation is successful, it means if you go to this directory, and here if you see hello Java and hello Java.class has created. This is my bytecode, as you can see here. This is hello Java, and this is hello Java. So if you open this one, right, it's a compiled format. You won't be able to understand what exactly it is. So this is the first stage of Java, and this is what it makes the portability come into the picture. Now see, I have developed this application in Windows. You can copy this .class file, you can take it to your Mac OS, you can run it, and it will run without any problem. So how to run it? The next step is you put Java, and then you put hello world, not class, only this name, and it will say hello Java, right? So this is the interpreter, and this interpreter is for Windows separate, for Mac OS is separate, for Linux is separate. Okay, and that's why I told you to install that Mac OS Java, so that you can get your Java interpreter. Okay, so interpreter is completely platform independent, sorry, platform dependent. So Mac OS will have their own interpreter. Okay, their Linux will have their own interpreter, but compiler should be independent. So that's why the JDK library, once you install it, the compiler will remain same throughout all the Linux internally, but the JRE will differ, because that interpreter's job is to take that compiled code and convert into your machine level language. And your machine level language, if it is a different operating system, the Java has to convert into their corresponding machine level language. And that's why all the JRE, or you can say the Java interpreter, is platform dependent. But the code what you write, the compilation what you do using the Java compiler is independent, and that's how it becomes so famous. Any question? Sweta, any question?
Yeah, so this is the first class, right? So this is something completely new for me. So maybe going further, I would understand better.
Yeah, the thing is, slowly you have to, spend a little bit time in this. Once you understand, right, what is the reason, when we are, why we are so running behind Java, and plus the oops concept and all, right, then it will be a little bit easier. Yeah, it will take a little while to, get things done properly, and accustomed to this. So that is fine. Okay.
Okay.
So just 1 second.
So the thing, the syntax you have written in the .java file, right?
Yes.
So is it like we need to remember all those stuff, or is it a pre-printed?
No. See, this is I have shown you this one just to internally how it works, and I will stop here only. I will be using a tool which is a very famous tool, Eclipse. There are many tools are there out there, IntelliJ, NetBeans, and Eclipse. We will be using that only. Just a click of a button, it will compile and it will run it. So there won't be any issue with that. Okay. So
Okay.
now I'll show you how we can use the tool to write the same code and do all this stuff. So once you install the Java, right, once you install the JDK, sorry, not Java, JDK, after installing the JDK, you need to download a software which is called the Eclipse. Do not run the code like this what I have shown you in black screen, right? Java C and Java hello and all these things, right? So better you download once you write this Eclipse download, and the Eclipse download will become the first thing, the Eclipse IDE for Java EE. So I'll just share this link. So here you can go and you can install this Cocoa, right? This one, Mac OS. Okay. So you install this one, download this one, and you install it in your system. Once you install it, you will be seeing like which you can launch it from here. You can select any workspace. You need workspace is a location where your all the codes will be stored. So I'll choose. I have created many training wise this one. So you open any of the default whatever the workspace it gives you, and you can launch it by that. And I'll explain you about the this tool. What exactly it does is it's a whole package this tool provides. You can write your code, you can compile it, you can run it, everything from here. You can properly manage your code project. You can create inside the project. You can put all your codes package wise, and all these things you can do from here. So it gives you a very good environment where you can develop your Java code, and it's really very famous. If if you would have worked in Java, you could have understand. So it's a really very famous IDE for writing Java codes. So it has many buttons, menus, and all these things. You don't have to worry about many things. Say one thing is, by default, if you see the perspective will be there. Perspective is something like in what kind of application you are going to develop. And Java has, there are two types of applications what you can develop is, one is web application and one is standalone application. I think you might be knowing that web applications runs through your browser. You generally use it through your browser, and it requires a web server to run that application. Like any website you visit, right? It's all our web application. Might not be written in Java, but all our web application which requires a servers which might be running on some remote location and you access through your browser. So there is one mandatory condition for the web application is it has to run through the browser. So first thing, but the standalone applications what you write, it does not require any kind of server. It runs on its own. There is no server required for that. And right now what we say core Java, the core Java has everything to do with the standalone applications. So if I say core Java, it means I'm talking about the standalone applications and what we write. So whatever I just shown you, right, this hello Java, you can say this hello Java program is nothing but a standalone application because it does not need anything. If Java is installed in your system, you can easily run it and see the result. Okay, so there are two types of, and that's why there will be, you will see that once you install it, there will be one Java EE and one there will be Java. So Java EE is Java Enterprise Edition, which is for web application, and Java is for core. If you don't see this button, just like that, just below left side, you will see open perspective. Click on that, and then definitely you will see one Java and one Java EE. So maybe by default Java EE will be selected. Make sure you select this Java perspective, and once you click on it, it will change the perspective to the Java. As you can see, nothing has changed here because it was already selected Java only. Once you select this one, it means the project what you are going to create is kind of Java standalone project. Okay, now whatever you develop, it will not require any kind of server, or you can run it easily. The second thing what you need to do is you need to create the project, and project is nothing but where your source code will be, how you can manage it and all these things, right? So you need to click on new, and if you don't get this Java project here, go to the blindly other, and here you type Java, and once you type Java, there will be many things will come, but you will see that Java project will be coming there. Select that, click on next, put your Java project name. So write it like something first Java, and once you click on this finish, it will come like something. Expand this, you will see one JRE. This is your Java compiler. So what Eclipse does is it automatically brings your JDK into this system to run your applications, and that's what it is. Okay, so you can run your applications from here, and as you can see here, all your Java compiler provider, everything is here, and this src is nothing but the source folder where you will be writing your Java classes. So we'll write the first Java class. We right click on this new, and then you select Java class, and put your class name. So same thing I write here also. I'll write hello Java. As you can see, by default I'll just remove these things because it's by default it is putting into a different package. Anyway, so it will go in by default package, and you'll see that hello Java automatically it has created this for me, so I don't have to write the class name. And then every Java classes which starts with a main method. So any Java class what you write, it always starts with a main method. This is the entry point of your Java application. So may it be whatever it is. See, it contains of 1,000 classes, 1,000 logical things which is happening, connecting to DB, getting data and all these things. But the entry point of any application in Java standalone application is starts with a main function. So you have to write a main method in your Java applications to start your application. So this will be your entry point. So right now is very simple program. So I'm writing my print statement here only, and here I'll say hello Java from Eclipse. Just 1 second. Pratik, Amika, Jansi will start in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, is that fine?
Okay.
Yeah, just you can just see what we are doing. It's a revision for us also. We'll start at 10:10. Okay. Okay, good. So this hello Java from Eclipse, right? So we have written this. So once we compile this and run it, it should print this value what we are printing here. So the thing is, in Eclipse, that's why I have shown you here step by step. You compile it Java C and then you run it, then it will print it. But in Eclipse, it does happens just with a click of a button. You do not have to compile it, anything. Everything happens internally. So to run this one, simply there will be a button here, run. Okay, green button. You click on this, it will compile it, it will run it, everything it will do it for you. So as you can see here, hello Java from Eclipse, it has run it. So internally only it has created, and also if you want to see the location of the code, you can right click on, go to the properties and directly open this one here. And this is your first Java project, as you can see here. And inside this src, this is your hello Java. And if you go here bin, you will see hello java.class it has created, just like that only, right? So internally it does the same thing, but it does not let you go through all these pain to typing commands and doing all this stuff. Okay, so it becomes very easy for you to develop the code and all. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So there are videos I have recorded. I'll share with you so that you can go through that. And next thing what I will be starting is oops concept. I'll just tell you today about this one. I will not go and write code, because I was thinking that I'll take this session maybe some other time, if you are okay with the morning time India time, or Saturday Sunday, or sometime we can do it, because parallelly I cannot take two sessions, I mean consecutively. That will be difficult for me. So if that would be fine, we can proceed with that. Okay.
Okay.
So morning time, would it be fine for you? My Indian time, morning time, how it will be?
Yeah, should be okay for me.
Okay, so anyways, I'll get in touch with you guys. I'll tell about the timing, so how we can manage, because we have to do it some separate time independently, so that I can give 1 hour session or something. Then you can pick things up. Okay. So the next thing I would talk about today is OOPS concept, the Java OOPS concept. So Java and the if you have you studied about C language or anything, C language, C plus plus, anything? No.
No.
No. So what exactly happens, right? Java actually works on a concept, feature concept, I would say. It's object-oriented programming. We call it as a, OOPS concept in short. And this object-oriented programming, what, Java's entire package, Java's entire software has built on this concept only. And the first rule what Java states, that everything what we deal with should be object, and it deals with the object only. It does not treat anything other than object. So what exactly, I would say, I mean, what exactly an object is in things, right? So if you see anything, right, if you go to a mall, if you go to a shop, you see a different kind of things are there, right? You go and see a biscuit packet, you say some juice, or you see phone or mobile phone or watch or anything, right? What are these things? These things are object, right? And you say these objects belong to a particular kind of class. I mean, if you say phone, and the phone means, if you say mobile phone or some Samsung, Nokia, or Apple, or any kind of phone, right? So if I say Apple, or if I say Samsung, or if I say Nokia, it immediately tells you that it belongs to a class phone. So it's a type of phone, right? So that actually, so whatever you can see, whatever is visible for you, the physical world, right, everything can be treated as object. And Java emphasize on focusing on the real time solution, and that's why it has emphasized on the object level. So what exactly they use for their language is something like, so if I tell you, right, okay, I need to do some kind of programming where I need to uh, calculate the area of different geometric shapes. And so of course, the type of what I will say, the objects could be the generic name, right? So the generic names could be shape, But if I come to the specific thing, right, so I'll say something like circle. So I'll write a class as a circle, and inside the circles, if you say what are the things a circle have, right, so it has only one thing which it uses for calculating their area, and which is radius, right? So what I have written here is I'm telling that okay, a circle is a kind of geometrical shape, and the thing with the circle is it has an area radius, and there are many things what you can get from a circle. You can calculate the area, you can calculate the perimeter, you can semi perimeter, all the circumference, right? You can find out all these things. So these are the properties of a class, properties of a shape, properties of a geometrical object, right? So Java, as you know, the type of programming what you will do with the Java is you need to always follow the objects rule, the object specifications rule, and that's how you need to solve your problem. So if I tell you, okay, I want to find the area of a circle, I want to find the circumference of a circle, and I'll provide you the radius. The radius is a property, right? So if suppose someone tells me, okay, you find out the area of a circle, and they do not tell me anything at all, I mean simply say, okay, find me the area of the circle. The next question you will ask is, okay, I need to get the value of one attribute, one properties, and they will say what? So you need to tell that, okay, I need radius to calculate that, right? Without the radius you cannot find the circumference, you cannot find the area of a circle. So that attributes is nothing but the properties, or you can say the behavior of that object. I mean what exactly it needs to find out the behavior or the value of that. It could be behavior, it could be the resulting things, what you can say, like area or perimeter, right? So perimeter is something what you will do the calculation, right? What you will be doing the step by step. You need to write a formula for that. You need to take the input from a user. You can get the input, you can process it, you can send the result, right? So it's a kind of stepping processing unit, right? So the finding out the perimeter, finding out the area using your radius is something like a processing unit where you process data. So you need to define something like a method which will be like a void calculate. Satyajit will start in 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So we need to find the, suppose calculate area, we need to find calculate circumference. Okay, let it be circumference. So calculate circumference. What are these things? I mean if you say these are the kind of, you can say, behavior or the thing what you want to do with that circle. So these are called the functions or methods in Java. What are the behaviors or these things of that particular class is nothing but the behavior of that class. So you can find out the area, you can find out the circles, and these will have a certain kind of, it will take the input, it will do the processing, it will do find out the area and all these things. So what you can do, it will take your what generally it should take the input. If I need to calculate the area, what input do you expect from the user or from the people who is asking you to calculate the area? What do you think should be the input? We need a radius, right? We need radius to calculate the area. Until unless we will not get the radius, we will not be able to find out the area. So if I write like this, so what exactly it will do is, so it's a pi r square, right? So 22, or better I'll write 3.14, then into radius into radius, right? So this will actually calculate your area. It will take the input. This box is nothing but the input, taking the input from the user, and then you can print it like area of circle is. Do not worry about the syntax, how I am writing the syntax. I will cover it in next session. Just focus on the concept, the behavior of writing programs, and what is this void, double, and all these things. Do not worry right now, because I will be covering about the keywords and syntax later. So this area I can print it. So this is actually the behavior or the functionality of this class. So if I say, okay, I have a circle, what are the things we can do with a circle? We can find out the perimeter, we can find out the area given provided radius. So same thing we can do here also. So we will have a I will put as a name as r only, so radius, and we'll double circumference equal to 3.14 into 2 pi r, it's right. So it's a 2 into, yeah, and we can, so perimeter would be c. Okay, so I have these two attributes to functionality of which class? It's a circle, right? And property, what is their property? Is their radius. So now let's write the main method. As I told you, everything has to be written inside the main method only, and it will start always from the main method. So it will always, just like call circle, calculate circle, or calculate area. It's the main is also a method which takes the input like this. Just one second. Shalini, oh, one second. So just like calculate circumference, calculate area, we also, this is a common method you can write in any class where you want to start it. So this is main method where I will be starting my applications running, right? So first thing, suppose I have a area, I am just giving as a double radius r equals to, suppose it's a 7, and I want to, it should be 7.0 or something, you can write it. I want to calculate so this radius, right? I have to create the object of this particular class, and then only I can access this method. So circle is nothing but a kind of, you can say, template, or it's a kind of generic name, a circle. But if you see, you could have a, suppose you have a different circle rings, right, in your hand. So there could be many rings, right? 1 2 3 4 5, they will have different radius, but all are belonging to a class which is a circle. You can say all are circles, but they have a different radius, right? So those are the actual objects what you are looking at. Circle, as of physical thing, there is no circle. What you can touch, what you can feel, that circle, the made of that iron, that is the actual, the object, right? And that has a different radius. So to create in Java, to get the behavior of that particular class, right, you need to create the object in order to access that. So if I say, okay, I'll give you 10 circles, that 10 rings in your hand, and find out the circumference. So you need to find out, okay, which circle I am talking about, right? So I'll get one of that circle, right? And one of that circle is nothing but the object. One of that circle is nothing but a type of circle. That ring is nothing but a type of circle. I can give it a name as a smaller ring, bigger ring, medium ring. I have 3 rings. So sorry. So bigger ring, medium ring, and smaller ring, I can say these all 3 are type of circle, but there is no name as a circle. I mean, it belongs to a category called circle, and the mandatory points, or the mandatory things to follow a circle, it has to be in round shape, it has to be in, it should have a, what I say, whatever the specifications of a geometry. If you read the definition of what is a circle, right, if it's satisfying those conditions, it is a circle. And it could be different circles, and those are nothing but the object, the real entity, what you think about, right? So in Java also, so I'll say like a small circle, a smaller circle, or a smaller ring. I'll just name it as this one, equals to new circle. So I have created, so this is my one of the ring, okay? And I'll not set it like this, and I need to I need to set the radius of this smaller circle ring. So dot, I'll just do radius equal to, so this is 10. So this circle has a radius as 10. Again I will create the medium one, so I'll name it as a, I'm putting as a m. Okay, so m dot radius, I'm setting the radius of this as a 25. So this is now medium, and then I can have one more ring, the circle type of ring, and which is a large one. So I'll put as a L ring circle, and I'll put the radius of that as a 50. So right now, if you see in the physical thing, right, in a just normal natural things, right, you have three circles, you have three rings with different radiuses, and you it's yourself, you are calling as a smaller ring. I have a medium ring, I have this ring, and you can name it as a whatever you want, maybe as a whatever you want. So this is actually your entity, what you are seeing. So this is your smaller ring, medium ring, and this one. There is nothing like a circle exists. It only tells that it belongs to a circle class, and once you tell that, you need to inherit these properties. Then if you say, okay, a small circle is a circle, that means it has a radius, it should have a radius, and that's why I'm setting the value of radius. This is the way to set the value. So a smaller circle dot radius equal to 10, a smaller circle dot radius equals to 25. I am setting these things. Now I need to find out the area of different circles. So if I need to find out the small circle radius, I will have the access to these things, right? I can find out the area of a smaller circle also, medium circle also, large circle also, right? So we can do that. I mean, we can find out the circumference also 3, right? So these two property has to be the common for all these circles. How to call it? So a smaller circle dot, I'll say calculate area, and I will provide this radius. So whatever the radius I have set it, right? So I'll provide it here. Okay, so circumference dot radius. Same thing I will do for here also. M circle dot calculate area, and then M circle dot radius, whatever we have set it, right, we'll providing it. And same way we can calculate the circumference also. So calculate circumference, and again same thing we'll provide here also, and which will be smaller ring dot radius, and same thing here also we'll do M ring dot calculate circumference, and M ring circle dot radius. And same thing we can do over this one. I'm not going to write it, that one. What it will do, it will take this value, right, it will pass this value to here, it will go here, calculate area, it will take this value here, it will calculate, it will print the area of the circle for this one, then again it will call for this one. So you will see that it will call the area of circle, it will call the area of circle. If you want to be just make sure that it's the area of circle of smaller one, you can provide one more perimeter as a string, and you can say as a circle name, you can provide that also, that just to make sure. And the area of circle name you can put as a circle name, you can print that one, okay, so that you will understand that okay, this is for that one. Okay, and same thing you can do for perimeter also. You can provide this string circle name, and you perimeter for circle name is okay. And here now again I need to provide the name, so I'll just put a small circle, I'll put a name here, and here also I'll tell okay, small circle. Just think about the input output behavior, do not worry about the syntax, how I'm going to write it. I'm just providing these values so that it can small circle, and here also I'll provide it. Okay, good. So if I run it now, you will see area of circle name, a small circle, is calculated this one. Perimeter of a circle, a small circle, is this one. Then area of a circle name, okay, sorry, it should be medium. Okay, so these two are for a small, these two are of medium. Is that okay? Just understand the object-oriented concept. Do not worry about syntax, how I'm calling methods, how I'm passing arguments, and all these things. It will take one session to make you understand those syntax. Nothing to worry. So this concept is clear, right? Shweta and Rahul. Shweta, can you hear me?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. So okay. We'll cover other things, in next session. So I need to start this. It's becoming delayed. So you can I think you have a little bit idea now, I think, so it would be easy to grasp things quickly. We'll have a next session. We'll let you know about that timings and all. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so we'll start with next session what I was left over this. Okay, so Amika, Jansi, Pratik, Satyajit, all are here, right? Okay. Sorry for the delay today. Actually, it got kind of merged because it was like a starting session, so I should have informed. Okay. So last time what we had covered is sorting of students' data, right? How we can sort the data, how we can what is the okay? Yeah, we stuck last time here. Anybody remember what is the problem? Pratik. Oh, Pratik did not attend yesterday. Satyajit, right? Yesterday we had some problem. Satyajit?
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday we had some kind of problem, right? When
No.
we started this sorting the students and all, right?
Yeah, you are trying to figure out like
Yeah, why it was not calling, the reason was the student what it was calling is not this student, it was calling this student. We had two student classes, and it was using this com sorting, and that was the reason it was not taking. So if I run it now, it should why it is running this one. So see, I am called, it is calling this student. So as you can see here, I am called, it is doing that call. Okay, anyways, I'll leave this topic right now here, because once we start dealing with this multi-threading and all these things, right now there also will have this topic again. So right now, as of now, we had done till putting this, and now if you can see here, it is working also. Size of the set is 3, and we are providing this 5, right? So it is taking only 3. So there are 3, 1, 2 and 3. There were 3 Anamika, but it is taking only 1, as you can see here, Anamika, right? So it's worked fine, right? I mean, it is creating this hash code and the equals. As I told you, it will create the hash code for each and every object when you call it, and it will generate the code for that particular object. And next time if you create the same object with the same data, it will create the same value. And that's the reason, once it gets the same value, it will not let you insert that into the hash set. So this is the, I mean, I will not emphasize more on this, because you will be hardly using this equals and hash code in your real time. I think I haven't got chance yet to use this equals and hash code, but it's important to understand. I mean, don't spend too much time in this. Okay, so I hope everybody is aware of this sorting and all. Any questions you can ask me now, or I'll proceed with next topic. So is it fine? Okay, so what I will be doing today is, my next topic, what I'm thinking to cover the multi-threading. I'll start a very I would say kind of little complex, but a very important concept in Java. And the Java is mostly famous just because of this guy, and which is multi-threading. So in multi-threading, I think you guys are from electronics, electrical mostly, right? Anybody knows about how a processor works? What is the code? If you purchase a laptop, you go and say in market, okay, I want quad core processor. In phone also these days I'm hearing that Snapdragon processor, they have quad core, or dual core, or core to duo, other different people tells that, right? That core, anybody knows what exactly that core is, what exactly it does? Anybody? Because this multi-threading has a very much I would say the tight coupled with that word, the core. So anybody can tell me what exactly core is, if anybody knows about it, what it does, what does it do in processor core? No? Okay, let me tell you. Core is actually a place where exactly the your computation happens, the real calculation happens. You click on any button, you send any request. It doesn't happen, at your operating system level. Ultimately, it goes to your core. It goes to your registers. It does that, arithmetic logic, ALU, right? You might have heard about it. A CPU has a different components, registers. Arithmetic logic unit, processing unit, all these things is there, right? Your core is a central processing unit. The core is a process, a place where it actually does all your the binary logics calculations. Once you say, okay, write a program in Java, you write what are the things happens when you write a Java program and compiles it and run it. What happens? You write a certain kind of code. You write, okay, 10 plus 20, add it, and it goes into your Java machine. It compiles that into bytecode. Your Java interpreter interprets in, convert into your machine level language. Machine level language gets picked up by your assembler. Assembler picks up it to the your core, the processor. It's assigned to your processor, and then your processors has a thread. Thread is nothing but a unit, I would say, a working unit, you can say that. And that working unit, what it does is that it try to parse your data, and ultimately it gets converted to 1010 format. And then it does all these calculations, addition, multiplication, subtraction, whatever it does. Then again it, the reverse process happens, that it writes your registers. Registers is read by the assemblers. Assembler is read by your operating system kernel, and then your kernel says, okay, go to the operating system. Operating system sent to your JVM. That JVM is the thing but the Java virtual machines, which provides your Java interface to run that. And then it comes to your application, and then comes to your IDE, which is Eclipse, and then it comes to your console where you can see this. So it's like almost a series of process which happens internally. It's not like simply you write a code, you run it, it has, right? It goes through a different processes internally, and ultimately it happens to the core. Once you say, okay, I have a dual core. So previously, right, I mean maybe 5 years, 10 years back, we used to have only one core processor. I don't know, in USA or other country they might have come dual core and all these things. But in India, what I know is like it's been 6 years, 7 years before, 8 years before, only one core processor was there. Now what is one core, two core, four core, or something like that, right? One core means ultimately means at the end of the time only one work will be done at one point of time. That's it, no other work. Now what does it mean? Right now you open your laptop, you play a video, you listen to a music, you open your browser, that is one process. You listen to music, that is one process. You open a command prompt, that is third process. You open Eclipse, that is the fourth process. But you see that everything is working, right? You see when right now I am opening browser, okay, fine. I think I am doing multi-processing, but actually it is not happening like that. I am writing, I opened here google.com, and suddenly I switched back to my Eclipse. I am writing here my class, and I have written my class here, which is also working perfectly fine. I would say notepad plus plus I will open. I'll write something here. For me, I am working parallelly. I am, and even my ear is plugged in. My earphone is plugged in. I am listening to music also. I feel like, I am doing all these works parallelly, but actually it's not happening at all. It never happens that your work is done parallelly. It never ever happens. It's actually done one at a time at the end of the day, and that goes to your core processor, and one core can do one work at a time. So how does this happen? Actually, there is a term as scheduler, task scheduler, thread scheduler you can say, or job scheduler you can say. At the end of the core, before the core, right, the operating system level or the kernel level system, there is a scheduler, process scheduler you can say, or job scheduler, that plays a very vital role in this. And when you launch many applications, it does not do all these works one at a time. I mean, parallelly, sorry, parallelly does not do. It does one at a time. So if type here, suppose D. So this typing D, it goes through all this process and comes back, right? Then it displays your D. So what actually happens is, the core takes the request from the scheduler, and it's a scheduler's job to give the priority to which processes to work fast. You might have seen that when you open many processes, right, your system starts becoming slowing down, your RAM is getting consumed, and your work becoming very slow. And not only, there could be some application which consumes your processes to a large extent. If you open this task manager, if you go to performance, you will see two things. One is CPU usage, and one is this one. Suppose I write one application, or I install one software, some kind of virus build software, and it's a virus which consumes my CPU cycle. So actually everything done in a cycle, we call it a CPU cycle. So if a process takes more cycle to complete a task, the processes usage will go up. So if you are doing some kind of intensive 3D image processing, or you do some video conversion on all these things, you will see that your CPU usage will shoot up. Why? Because it requires, to carry out one task, it requires a lot of CPU cycle, and your CPU cycle is nothing but a rotating unit which do all these core tasks. So suppose your application takes a huge amount of CPU usage, and at that same point of time you try to application one more, open that, you will observe that your application is opening very slow, but it is opening. It never happens that, okay, it says, okay, I am busy, do not open me. It opens, but it is becoming very slow. There is two reasons. The CPU says is not allocating your tasks to compute that. So when you launch your application, actually your operating system sends a request to kernel, and kernel in turn send you to your core processor that, okay, user is trying to open this task. Processor will say, hey, I am busy with some cycle, some in my work and completing this task. This task is taking too much cycle, please wait. Okay, so that is waiting, and that's why your system is not getting loaded into your memory, and you are not able to see that particular page, right? So that becomes a drawback of using one core processor. And that's why technology like technology company like Intel or other AMD, Apple processor, and all these things, right, they have come up with dual core. Now it's been even quad core, I am hearing, right? So what actually it does now, at least you can do two work at a time. In actuality, in the real thing, you can do two work at a time. You will have two different CPU cycles. Work will be carried out among themselves, right? But only two. But it becomes four, then it becomes four. So now you can imagine the performance enhancement, what happens when you keep on adding your core. And that's how actually it does. What exactly the multi-threading is all about then, right? So uh, is it clear now what I uttered till now? So is it okay? I mean, understood, right? What exactly how the thing, because it's a too much things to do with multi-threading. Why I'm talking about all these things? It's fine, right?
Yeah, yes.
Understood, right? Uh, okay, Amika, Jansi, all right? Good. Okay. So what exactly the multi-threading in Java, or you can say the multi-threading, or uh, in operating system, when you uh, bring out your application, you switch on your laptop, there are many processes automatically comes up, and some processes which you need to launch. Right now, suppose my putty is not launched. I clicked on it. As soon as I clicked on it, as I'll see here in the processes, I'll see some kind of putty here. So let me see. Yeah, putty.exe is written running, and it has allocated one process ID, as you can see here, 8756. What I did is I'll close this one. Remember the process ID, it's 8576. I closed it. I'll see that, make sure that putty is not there. Okay, putty is not there. It was 8576. Okay, now I'll see. Okay, putty. Now the process ID has been changed. Now it's a 2044, right? So my process ID has been changed. So whenever I launch my applications, my operating system, be it Windows, be it Apple, be it any operating system or Linux, it allocates a process ID. A process ID is a unique identifier for a process. So you can say a master process is your Windows operating system. Inside that master of the process, there are many several processes runs, and the process is nothing but, you can call it a software, you can show it anything, right? So all these things what you are saying, go to meeting, notepad, whatever, right? These all are processes, and they have a unique identifier. They have their own stack memory, all the memories it will. So if I write here some data, right, it will be going to this process memory. It will not go to my hard disk right now, until and unless I control s, I save it. It will ask for the physical location where I want to save it. Once I save it, then it data will get transferred to that particular memory location. Till then it is in the process memory, it is not into the hard disk. That's why once you close the operating Windows operating system, or any once you shut down the system without saving it, your data gets lost, because that is in your main memory, that is in your process memory. So you can say it is in RAM, and your process is running inside your RAM. So ultimately the data what it is handling is nothing but your process, not your RAM. So RAM is a location, the memory location which gets provided, and the RAM is used by all your processes. So if you see here, these are the memory which it is consuming. So you can see Chrome is using this much of kilobyte in my RAM. So this is by a process used by that. Okay, now come to the multi-threading concept, why a multi-threading is required. Just take Facebook. You, most of the people, I think everyone might have used Facebook now, or Gmail or anything, right? There is one Facebook application, there is no thousand or millions for every users. Only one people, or maybe 1,000 people have written a set of codes, and they deployed it on some web server. That's it. Now crores and crores, thousands, I think 1 billion people, 1 billion people, yeah, right, if I'm right, 1 billion people, they just now a few days back they told, right, 1 billion people has used Facebook in one single day. Now imagine the concurrent users which has been logged into the Facebook system, and they are using, and it works just perfectly fine. How does this happen? How do they bring so much memory? How do they process so many things, right? So if I tell you, I write a program where you can see your result. Okay, suppose I take an exam, and I'll tell you that, okay, you log into my website, and you can log in with your user ID password, and you can log into the website, and you can see your result, and that's all, right? You might have observed, I don't know, the maybe internet speed is very good or something, but in India I feel more than any time, that IRCTC website, this is for booking a train ticket. When it comes to the peak time at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, when we book in a tatkal, what we say it, it's like a, if you know about, right, it's a peak time to book the ticket. That time the Facebook, sorry, the IRCTC becomes very very slow. It becomes a damn slow. I mean, even so, it's like logging in timing is taking 10 minutes, 20 minutes. But if I right now, if I open it, it opens in a flash. What does happen right there? So actually it's all these things are related to your multi-threading only, that's all, nothing else. So multi-threading actually what it does is, it runs inside a process. The first thing, it runs inside a process, a thread, what we call it as a thread. It's a lightweight process, it's kind of process only, but it must be attached to a process. So just like if you see here Chrome, okay, so chrome.exe is a process, and if I open this tab, one tab, two tab, three tab, it's like a thread, one thread, two thread, three thread. But in the here you are seeing that only one process which is running, and which is chrome.exe. But inside that, these all are kind of process only, which is this page is getting rendered for this one. So I'll write Java. So this page is this thread is doing searching for Java. Here I will I am clicking on Eclipse, it is doing this work. I am clicking on this link, this is doing its work. Individually they are doing their own work, but they belong to a category Chrome, and that Chrome is nothing but your own Java, where you can Java process, where you can do all this work. So this becomes a very handy to make your uh, applications for concurrent users, right? So I think in old time, right, there was no tab concept. I mean, when initially browser has come, it was only one process you can do, and you can do only one work. So imagine if I write one applications where 1,000 users can log into my system and they can view the result. Now if I don't have multi-threading concept, just imagine that it's like a first come first serve, whoever comes in they can log in, right? And suppose one of you have visited my website, and you are saying, okay, I'm logging into their system. You hit your username and password, you enter it, click on submit. What actually happens when you click on the submit button? The username and password, it carries over to the server, it goes to your server via HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. It goes to the server, and then server will validate against the database entry where your username and password, that credentials is stored. It'll match against your provided username and password. If it is matching, it navigates to the home page or profile page, and there you can see. Now at the same point, two three more people has put it their username and password. And suppose you guys, Amika or Pratik or Satyajit or Shweta, right, all four guys have entered their username and password at the same point of time. And my server receives the request for Amika first. I'm doing suppose my processing is taking 1 minute time to validate whether user is authenticated or not. So it is taking 1 minute. So the previous users, after that, whoever Pratik or Satyajit or Sweta or Jansi has logged in, they must have to wait into the queue. Once that gets processed, then only the second user can go and log in, and then they can go to their page. This is, I'm talking about only 5 users. Imagine the Facebook has 1 billion users, and they are using. Have you ever faced slowness because of Facebook? Not because of internet. Maybe because of internet you might have faced sometimes slow, but if your internet is very fast, have you ever faced that Facebook is becoming slow for you, and you click on username and password, it becomes appear after 1 day? No, it will never happen. And if it happens, Mike Zuckerberg might be polishing some shoes, or shutting down their business and doing nothing, right? So the multi-threading, how it helps, right? The thing is, so just imagine how the multi-threading is helping this in this. 5 user has logged in your system, and all 5 requests goes to my server. And if multi-threading is not there, I'm putting into the queue, and one by one I'm processing, and others user have to wait. But if I use multi-threading, what actually happens is, it takes the request parallelly, concurrently. It says, okay, give me your request, give me your request, give me your request, give me your request. 4 requests I've taken, I will create 4 thread, I will create 4 processing unit, I will create 4 computing unit, 4 threads. Just imagine one rope is coming, and from there you can creating many threads, just like that. That rope is your process, your server, one process, you are creating many threads, and all threads can do the same task as others. So this thread will go separately, they will do their database validation, this also will do the validation, this also will do the validation, and one every time can in one flash. Okay, so you will never feel like, okay, Sweta got more preference, or Amika got more preference, or Pratik got. You all will feel like system is made for me only. I mean, as soon as I enter my username password, it took my request, it showed me the profile page, I'm happy, right? But actually it never happened like this. The 4 requests what you have submitted, it goes to your thread scheduler. Thread schedulers decide which one to go first. Suppose one Pratik has gone, and his request has gone to the database, and it gone to the database and it did not validate that time. Then what thread scheduler will do, it will do, right? It will say, okay, stop Pratik there only, let give some chance to Amika to get the validation. Now Amika went through and get the validated. Now Pratik's work is half done, and Sweta is waiting for a long time, right? Then it will give the option to Sweta, okay, you go and validate because you are waiting for a long time. Pratik is still waiting, so maybe Sweta is confirmed, and then the Satyajit. So what actually happens, right? The thread schedulers keep switching the jobs, and it distributes the time. So suppose 4 users are there, 1 minute it takes to authenticate 4 users, so total 4 minutes. So if I do one by one at a time only, so 4th user has to wait for 4 minutes, 3rd user has to wait for 3 minutes. Instead of doing that, what it is doing is, for first 10 seconds Pratik has to do, stop there, next time will come the scheduler and will take it. Then we'll give some time to Satyajit and then Pratik and this one, right? And then again to Sweta and all these things. So there are many types of thread schedulers are in market, in your operating system. You don't have to worry how they allocate the threads, but actually it happens like that only. So if I explain you in something like more non-technical way, it's something like, suppose Pratik, Amika and Sweta and Satyajit, okay, there's more, maybe I'll keep my name, okay. So 4 request has come, okay, and my thread scheduler, this is my thread scheduler, okay, which does the thread scheduling part. And every request suppose takes 1 minute each, and so P, A, S and D, 4 requests has come, and thread scheduler's job is to, and this is my core where actually the processing happens. So I have one core process where only one process can done, and this is my thread scheduler. And a thread scheduler will pick up randomly any task. So it suppose picked P, and P will come here, and it takes 1 minute, right? So suppose it has taken 30 seconds. Now 30-second processing it has done, but I'm seeing that these 3 users are waiting for 30 seconds, of course, right? Because 30 seconds has been taken by P, and these 30 seconds has been these 3 guys are waiting. What I will do, I'll remove this guy, but at the same time I will remember his last action, that till the time whatever the work he has finished. So to validate a user, suppose there are four steps. So step 1 is get username and password, extract it or parse it. Step 2 is get username and password from the database. Step 3 is match both, whether it's matching or not, from the database. And support fourth, send response. So these 4 steps is required to authenticate a user, and these 4 process, suppose I'm just giving it, to not take 1 minute, it takes 1 minute, I'll tell you, okay. And this takes suppose 30, this takes suppose 20 seconds, and this process takes around 10 seconds, and this takes 10 seconds. So I'll make it as a this also 10, right? So this is 1 minute work to authenticate a user. I have 4 users logged in into my system, trying to log into my system. How I need to resolve this issue, right? How I can so if there is no multi-threading, first P, A, S and D has come. I picked P, and P is doing, suppose multi-threading is not there, so P is doing all this work, and it takes 1 minute. It took 1 minute. What will happen to all these 3 guys? All 3 have to wait 1 minute, right? Now, okay, P is done. I removed P. I allocated to A. A again will take 1 minute. How long S and D has waited now? 2 minutes. After that, I said, okay, now S will join. S has taken 1 minute. How long D has waited? 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, I got chance to log into my system, which is totally unfair, right? how we can resolve this using multi-threading. So let's see. So what actually happens, all 4 requests comes, that is perfectly fine. It thread schedulers, right, it will pick, suppose randomly it picks, it never write first come first serve. So let me pick A. I picked A. So A has been removed from here, pool, this is called the pool. So A has been removed from here, it has come to the thread scheduler, and thread scheduler has come to assign this A to here. So A is in now core, it's a processing, right? It processes S1, it processes S2. Okay, so it took 40 seconds, right? So 40 seconds it took, and it's done till S2 process. S2 is done, it's remember. Then this thread scheduler say, hey, enough with your processing, let's go back to your place, let's give S chance. S will come here, as with this all this work is done by thread scheduler. So this guy took a little bit more time, so 30 plus 20 plus 20, right? So 30, suppose it does only one work, it does only S1 is done, only this one is done. He say, okay, enough with this, give time to P, it's been waiting for a long time. So come P here, so P will come here, and P suppose does all these 3 works, S3. So S3 is done. Okay, so this P3, then again it has been removed. Then maybe D will be taken. It's not sure, I mean it's totally random. Do not think that okay it's always be like that only. Okay, so D has been given chance, and D has only finished S1, and again it moved back to their old place. Then again it might take any, it will pick, okay, let me take this A again, and A will come here. As soon as it will come, it will say, okay, previously also it has come. It will remember into their memory, that is called the thread stack. Okay, in memory S2 is done. Let's start from S3. So S3, S4, it took 20 seconds, and in 20 seconds it is done. So it finished. So A is finished, it will be done, it will be removed from the job. So if you can see, it's take almost hardly 1 minute also, 1 minute some seconds, right, for A. Then S will be picked, and then P will be picked, and then D again, it will be, move around and all this thing. Time gets evenly distributed, at least not evenly, at least it gets distributed among themselves. Even you can set the priority for the thread, which thread you want to give the priority. There are many things, I mean, you can do with that. If you are more interested about the thread scheduling, there are many algorithms, round robin, how they are managing. There are many articles, I mean people went crazy for writing these thread scheduling techniques. This selfish time slicing, relinquishing the CPU, round robin is the most famous I know. Round robin scheduling, I think you can write your program also if you want. So round robin algorithm is a very famous, as I know. There are many thread scheduling, you can read about it, how they are doing this. First allocation it will be for 100 milliseconds, second allocation is something, then how many CPU cycles it will be, how the processing will be done. All these times, I mean, you should not scratch your head for learning these things, but it does, even for network also they use all these things. This is what actually the thread this is actually the multi-threading, what it happens. So you can write your Java applications to do carry out certain tasks, and you can write your program to take multiple users to do that and processing. Okay, I'll show you how to write a multi-threaded program today. I'll not cover more details because I can't speak for a long time, means it's speaking consecutive classes, right? So I'll just show you one example today, how actually we can write a multi-threading program, how we can achieve things. I will show you the output, I can explain you how exactly the scheduling happening, how actually this processing happening. But before that, any questions, because this multi-threading is really very tricky and a little bit complex than what we covered till now. So if any questions, you can ask me. Please do ask questions. No? Pratik?
Yes, sir. Multitasking is also called as a multi-threading, right?
Multitasking is not multi-threading. No,
Oh,
multitasking is a totally different thing. Multitasking, you are talking in what context? Operating system context you are talking about. It's like it's a generic name. It's not a specific name. Multi-threading, when you say multi-threading, is about you can say in more technical way, more detailed way you are talking about. Multitasking is uh, it's something like you are doing many works at the same time. It's not about multitasking is right. Different programs are executed right now. I'm doing multitasking. If you can see, I'm using GoToMeeting to speak you guys, to show my screen. I'm using Eclipse. This is multitasking. This is nothing to do with multi-threading. Many processes are running. I'm using those processes. Okay, so it's multitasking is not multi-threading.
okay.
You can if you want to read it more details, you can just search on Google. I mean, if you want to detail learn in detail. But multitasking is something to do with processes already running. As you can see, right, all these processes are running. They have been allocated with process ID and all these identifiers and all, right. And multi-threading is something like it's a lightweight process. It's attached to a process. It's not a process. Thread is not a process. Multi-threading, if you see, threads running, right, so those threads are not a process. So there is a difference. You can read that also. The two things you need to learn is that is a process uh, versus thread. It's a very this one you can you read about this, what is the difference between process and what is the thread. So all the softwares what you are using is it's good. I mean, you can learn. You can see that they have the more resources with process because they need to handle so many data and all these things. Thread is a lightweight process. It just need to learn where it has ended, what is their priority, and very minimal operation it can do, and very minimal memory it takes, information it takes. But process is a huge resource consumptions. It takes so many things. Okay, so a process can have multiple threads. A thread is attached to a process. A thread, so getting my point, right? So process is a kind of a root, a hierarchy, and there it belongs, spawns many threads. So just imagine like that. Okay. Any question? Any other question? This was a good question. I mean, to understand that, right? What exactly a process is, what is a thread? Satyajit? No question?
Yeah, no question. Actually, I'm familiar with multi-threading as concept, so I
Oh,
understood.
good then. Shweta, any question? I think it's like jumping up to. So, any doubt?
Yeah. At this moment, I don't have any questions because I totally didn't understand. I mean, like, this is like a first session I had, and this is
Yeah, I
somewhere
know.
in
I can
12th or
understand.
13th session, right?
Yeah.
So maybe going further, I would understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, concept wise, it's pretty much same what I explained right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing much difference. I think what I explained is non-Java way, right? I mean, so like concept wise, right? Actually, it happens internally like this only. So it becomes
Okay.
quite easy. Amika, you're not telling anything. Amika didn't see anything. Why I'm asking you, because it's later on, if you do not understand these point, right? None of the single program you will understand in you will be thinking like, what stupid thing I am doing. I'm telling you, because okay, so it's good, right? You understood, fine. So let me write one simple program how we can write. There are two ways in which we can write thread programs. One is extending a thread class. Java has provided one thread class. Using that, we can write a thread. And uh, another way is by implementing the runnable. I'm not going to cover runnable today. I'll just tell you a simple way to do that, and that is the creating by extending the class. So we'll okay, so what I'll do is I'll create one class. Suppose uh, print prime numbers thread. My work is to suppose we guys do not know what are the prime numbers between 1 to 100, and all of us running this application. Only one application is there. I'm running one application and I want to print, all 5 people want to print 1 to 100, whatever the prime numbers are in between, we want to print those numbers, and we all want to print at the same time, and let's see how it goes. So this is my requirement, where I will be printing all the prime numbers between 1 to 100 and parallelly. So first thing we need to do is to make this class as a thread, to we'll extend thread. So once you extend the thread, this class will start behaving as a thread. Let me do one thing better. I'll not write this one here. I'll create one separate class as a prime printer, something like that. Okay, prime printer extends thread. So once we write like this, okay, so once we write like this, just focus on this class. So class prime printer extends this thread, right? So I'm telling that prime printer inherit the properties of thread. So whatever a thread can do, my prime printer class should do. And that's why I'm extending this class. I'm telling, okay, inherit the property of a thread. Once we inherit the property of a thread, we can work on a thread. So how actually it works is, there is a method, a function which we need to call whenever I want to do some kind of task. So when I create a thread, right, I'll show you how we can create the thread in Java and how we can call it. There is a special method, again, just like main method, we have a public void run. You need to always write this method. It's mandatory. Whenever you extend thread, in order to run that code, you need to write call this public void run. So this is a special method which a thread has, and you need to call this method in order to start the method, start the thread. So I'll tell you all these life cycles and all these things right now. Just let me write the logic for this. Just bear with me for some time. So we need to print the prime number from 1 to 100, right? So int will take from 1 to 20. 100 will take too much time, so we'll take 1 to 20 only. So I equals to 1, I less than equals to, I need till 100, 20, I plus plus. So for each number, for 1 2 3, all these are, so we'll see for, again I need to check, int j equals to 2, j less than equal to I hope everybody knows about these sort of logics. If you, okay, so if uh, if I mod, so if I mod j equals to 0, okay, so if I mod equals to 0, this is not a prime number. Okay, so we'll see something like, so if it is divisible by that, I will make it as a, I'll say okay, it's a false, and I'll break from there, and after this, this loop is there, and here I'll say if is prime is true, then I'll print this number. So prime number is I. So what I'm doing is I'm iterating from 1 to 20. So I'm just trying to find out the prime numbers between 1 to 20, and my task is to so what I am doing here, to check that, right, from 2 to, if less than that number, if it is divisible, right, I'm making is prime as false, and then if it's false it will not print. If it is true, by default it is true. And so if loop gets over, right, it does not get divided by any numbers here, then it will be remain as a true only, and it will work perfectly fine. So prime number this, and one more statement I will be writing. I'll tell you what I'm writing here. Thread dot current thread dot get name. Which thread is calling this? I'll explain you that one. So prime number value is this by thread, this thread. Okay, so this is just focus, like this is writing an example for a thread which we can call it to print the numbers. How we can create the thread? The life cycle of a thread is, I'll tell you, which is important. So life cycle, a thread when you create is in a new state, then it goes to runnable state, then it goes to running state, and then it goes to dead state. But running to run, I think this will be a good thing. Yeah, from running to runnable it can go, and then again it come back. This is new to runnable is one time. There is no reverse process for this one. Once you create a thread, it's new state, and once you submit that to thread scheduler, it becomes into runnable state, and it can never back to new again. It can go to runnable to running. Runnable means you are submitting to the thread scheduler. You are telling that, okay, goes to the thread scheduler. Okay, runnable means thread scheduler, and running means actually it is getting processed by the core, the CPU. Actually it is going, and dead means out of the memory, gone. And there are a few more which can go from there, which are there too, which is advanced topic I'll later talk about, which is called the blocked and waiting. So from runnable it can go from running, when it is running it can either go to runnable, or it can go to block, or it can to wait, or it can finish it up, and it's done, dead. Any question about life cycle? So life cycle, when you create a thread, it goes to new state, then it goes to runnable once you submit, and once you submit it goes to runnable, and runnable means the thread scheduler. Suppose you have created 5 thread, okay, and all 5 you are trying to run it, it will not go to running directly, it will go to the thread scheduler. Now it's a thread schedulers to work to whose work to assign to the core to send it to the running state. Okay, so understanding, right? So runnable to running is work of thread scheduler. Thread scheduler will decide whom to give it to the core and whom to again snatch from the core. So from core to runnable also is work of thread scheduler only. Thread scheduler will say, okay, enough of your work, come back, we'll assign to some other guy. This is work by thread scheduler. So remember, thread scheduler plays a very critical role in this. And once it is dead, that's all done. No come back. Okay. Is it fine? Life cycle? No answer. Perfect. Okay. So how to create a new thread, right? So this is my thread name now, right? I mean, this is my thread class. So it extending thread. So prime printer is my class, thread class. So we'll write prime printer thread 1 equal to new prime printer. This tells that thread 1 is in new state. So state of the thread is right now new. Is it clear? Right now it's in new state. Now I need to submit this thread 1, or I'll create one more thread right now. Later I'll run it. I'll create one more. So this will be thread 2, this will be thread 3, and with that I'll set the name of uh, uh, thread 1 dot, oh my god, what is happening? Oh, okay, I haven't written the main method, which I always forget. Okay, so thread 1 dot, I'll set the name for this thread, so it will be easy for us to what name should I give? Suppose Amika want to print, so I'll write like something Amika's thread. Okay, so same ways we can have, we'll see whose thread is printing what value and how they are ending. Suppose everyone wants to so print this okay, so Pratik's thread, perfectly fine. Thread, it should be 2. It's highly dangerous copying pasting. Okay, thread 3, I'll set up the name someone's, okay, okay, great. Everyone has their own thread and they want to print all 3 of yours intention is to get the prime numbers between 1 to 20, right? And every one of you should get it, and you should never wait for Pratik's or Sweta's or Amika's. Nobody will wait for each other. All their work has to be done in uh, some time. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So how to run it? Right now all are in new state. How we can submit in my control, only one thing is there. I cannot run a thread from directly from new to run. As I told you, from new to, it can only go to one state which is runnable. It can never go from new to running. It's not like you can give some bribe and you can directly go to running. No way, it will not work, because there is in between the runnable phase, and this runnable phase is handled by thread scheduler, and this gets allocated, threads gets allocated to the core by thread scheduler only, and also removed from running state is done by TS only. So TS is a very thread scheduler is a very intelligent person who knows whom to give more preference, whom to give less preference, whom work is done, whom work is not done, and all these things, right? So in my control there is only one thing, is I can create a new thread, I can submit to the thread scheduler. That's it. I cannot do anything after that. I might not know whom I can run first, whom I can run later, and this switching will be done by thread scheduler. I cannot have any control over it. Who will finish first, that also I don't know. How we can do is, we can do only this thing, thread 1 dot, let's begin, thread 1 dot start, thread 2 dot start, thread 3 dot start. This is under my control. After that I will lose my control. I will have no control who will print the prime numbers, who will finish, right? But one thing I am certain of, 100% sure of, that each thread will print all the prime numbers between 1 to 20, that I am sure. And one more thing I will be certain of is, it's not like one thread will finish printing 1 to 20 all the prime numbers, then only will second will do. It will never ever will happen. Okay, it will always be like one is printing 1 to 8 prime numbers, and then it will removed from there, and then someone will come back, and quickly you will see right now that it will work. I hope my prime number finding logic is correct. So let's get going. Okay, Perfect. I see 1 as a prime number, which is totally incorrect. So let me just get over with that. I should be knowing that 1 is divisible by all these things. So it should never be 1 to 20, it should be 2 to 20. Perfect. So let's see. Whose thread has got the first chance? I'm seeing that prime number value 2, it's a prime number by thread, Amika's thread, right? Now let me go here. Which line I have written first? Thread 1, which is Amika's thread, right? So it is done. I mean, perfectly fine. So Amika has got the first chance to print the first prime number. So thread 1 dot start, when I did, it went to TS, it submitted to TS, right? So perfect, and TS immediately assigned her task to the running, and it ran and it checked the first prime number. But as you can see here, it printed only 2. After that, I am seeing that Sweta's thread has come. But if you say that thread T2 dot start, and T2 was belonging to Pratik, but it has taken over by the Sweta's thread, because it's not my control. So as you can see, the starting scenario will be something like, we will have 3 threads, something like this. It will be something like, a thread T1, then thread T2, and then thread T3, and all are in control of TS. So T1 thread scheduler has decided, okay, T1 has come, let's send her to the run method. So once you call it start, right, it will call the run method. So run method, that means it is in running state, and T1 got the chance to run. And your T1, that is which thread, it's T1 is Amika's thread, and it come here, it took this value, right, I equals to 2, and it is checking, and it checked it, and it found out that 2 is a prime number. It printed, and now it will go for 3, I equal to 3, but it didn't go. What happened? Thread student will say, okay, enough, come back, let give Sweta chance to print the value. And now Sweta got the chance, but I had given the Pratiks, but maybe it's a thread student's wish to pick her up, so it has picked this one, and thread T3 got the chance, and it again went here, it has printed 2, and it come here, and it is doing all this task. It is printing print value 2 by thread Sweta's thread, and it should go again for value 3, but again I'm seeing that it got Pratik's chance now. So Pratik again, Pratik got chance, and 2, before it could have printed the next value, it has been taken by the Sweta. Now if you see Sweta's thread, right, it is not printing 2 because it has already printed 2, right? So Sweta's thread has printed 2. Now it should start with 3, and obviously, yeah, it is starting with 3. Then again Amika's printing 3, but as you can see, Pratik is lagging behind, right? So Sweta's and Amika's done till 3, but again Sweta got chance to print 5. Again Pratik got chance to print as a 3. It's totally a wish of thread scheduler how it will do that. And if you see here, this output will never remain constant. If I copy this one here, and I will run it again, might be, so this time as you can see here, Sweta was able to print till 5, and then Pratik got chance. Next time the things might be different. Let's run it, and as you can see, Amika got first, and now see Pratik got first, but that time Sweta had got first. And then again Pratik is fast this time. Now Sweta got 2, and then again Pratik 5. See, story has changed, right? So now Pratik is able to print 5, and now Amika is printing 3, and then Pratik is printing 7. Now Sweta is printing 3. What actually is happening here? But if you see here, till 20, see, Amita is able to print 19, right? That means till 19 she has printed. Sweta is also done, and Pratik long before is done, right? So as you can see here, it's not like sequential based. All are doing context switching is happening, printing, but everyone will be printing their own value, own set of value. So 2 for Amika, then Amika again, you find out here Amika's 3, then you can say amica as 5, then you can say amica as 7. All prime numbers is getting printed by each and every thread. Any question? I think this is the most interesting part, what you can see, the behavior of your core processor, the CPU, the thread scheduler. This is the behavior to know. There must be some doubt. I don't think so. There should not be any doubt. Perfect. So understood, everyone? Okay, good. So this is what actually it happens, right? So as you can see here, if I wouldn't have used the multi-threading, uh, almost both Sweta's and Amika's thread finished almost together. Just Pratik, yeah, I did little bit time. If I can run it again, it might be see. So Pratik and Amika has now done first. She has done somewhere here, right? So it's not like someone is doing very early and someone is doing very late. It's almost like finishing. So you can see that we'll print something like here. I'll just write it like it's a finished. So finished. So when it will reach to 19, right, which is the last print number, so we'll print like, okay, finished printing all this, and I'll create a few more threads. So let me okay, and I'll give this as a T4, T5, T6. I just want to show you how actually this so thread 4 dot set name, I'll write XYZ. So as you can see here, obviously it has printed so many things, but finished printing is somewhere here. The first printing finished, second he has finished here, third has been finished here, and fourth has been finished here, fifth has been finished here. So all are like doing in it's like kind of parallelly, you can say. So even you will not feel like, okay, I'm getting less chance to get into the website or print my numbers from this to this, right? So you will not feel like, okay, the things are happening sequentially. You will always feel like, okay, it's happening parallelly, right? But actually it's done one at a time only. And this is the beauty of multi-threading concept in Java. So for today, I think this is enough. I will not be covering further today. I'll tomorrow session. Tomorrow is which day? Uh, it's Friday. Okay. So tomorrow session I'll be covering other things like the another way to using the interface. Interface uses the runnable, and then I will be covering about different methods. So like threads method are there, sleep, then thread dot sleep, then the yield, then the join, and all these things. Then I will covering about the synchronization problem, the thread, what kind of thread problem can create that synchronization issues, what we can do, deadlock, producer consumer, then thread pooling, then yeah. So this is another way of doing one callable is their future and all these things. So it's going to be a little bit vast topic, but if you do not understand these parts right effectively, further sessions will not be useful. So if I haven't covered a few things, you can read on internet. I think you can get plenty of idea, but I just simply focus on the working nature so that you can learn about the behavior of the programs. Theoretically you can get it anywhere on the internet, right? But nobody can explain you like this is how the processor works. It comes with experience. When you work with that, you face the problem, you learn this stuff, right? So that becomes pretty easy for to understand that. Okay, so okay, so I will be stopping this session today. Any questions, anything you would like to know? Let me know, else I'll close this session. No?
Hi Divakar, this is Shweta.
Yeah, sure.
So usually, what time is the class daily?
It's at 10 o'clock. It starts at 10 p.m. IST.
Okay.
So you can convert in your time zone, whatever it is. And
Okay, yeah.
yeah, about this, backlog sessions, right? Can you just ping me on WhatsApp? I'll just share with you. I mean, just one second. This is my number. You can ping me on this. I'll just let